In the quiet still of the night of Cryptadia, a young SpecEvo wanders away from his herd, mesmerized by the beauty of the night sky and the soothing songs of the sauropods in the distance. He does not look where he is going, playfully frolicking around without a care in the world. He stops to take a look around at his surroundings, only to realize he has wandered too far from the watchful eyes of his mother. She calls for him to return, and swiftly he stumbles on his feet to make his way back. Unfortunately for the young creature, his mother's voice will be the last thing he'll ever hear. As out of nowhere he was sent flying multiple feet into the air, crashing down to the ground and feeling immense pain as he uses some of his strength to look at his attacker, and he sees a massive red demon with his green eyes that glowed in the dark. His blood splattered all over the demon's head, and as the creature closes in, it's the last thing the young animal will ever see. With a swift bite and a snap to the neck, the predator gets his meal. He is one of the many monarchs of Cryptadia, a master of the forest and grasslands, an apex predator with little competition, and is one of the largest carnivores on Cryptadia alive today. A ferocious 3-ton carnivore, an armored prey specialist, the Panzervenator. The Panzervenators are abelisaurids. They are the top predators of the forest jungles and nearby grasslands, and typically prey on armored game, as they are armored prey specialists, with powerful jaws to crack through the armor of its chosen prey, and tough scales of its own to help protect it from the weapons of its opponents, though this armor doesn't do much against animals of similar or larger size. Males weigh in at 3.2 tons, and females a little over at 2.9 tons. However, larger individuals do exist and can sometimes even go up to 4 tons, but that is a very rare occasion. Always found in the forests during the day and the grasslands at night, these brutish monarchs have a wide variety of prey to choose from. Males are larger with massive rows of ridged adornments on their heads, and have a far more reinforced skull that is used for hunting prey and fighting other Panzervenators. Meanwhile, females lack the same ridged head ornaments, but both sexes have the same powerful jaws and bite to deal with any opponent they face. Panzervenators are ambush predators, preferring to stay in the bushes and shrubbery, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike, and when said opportunity does present itself, the attack is swift and deadly. Males will use their reinforced thick skull and sharp ridges as a devastating battering ram, causing immense physical trauma and breaking the bones of whatever poor soul was targeted by the Panzervenator. Females, on the other hand, prefer to just use the more traditional way of biting and killing. However, both sexes will employ a deadly final killing method on their prey. Panzervenators will get a hold of their downed and exhausted prey and start to slam it against the floor or any nearby objects repeatedly over and over until the animal is dead, usually leaving behind a bloody mess. After the kill, the Panzervenators will almost leave nothing behind, eating muscle, meat, skin, and bone. However, the ones who are mated and the one who is out hunting will always bring back a good chunk of its kill back to the nest to feed its mate and chicks. Panzervenators, of course, need to be this aggressive and powerful when hunting their prey, as they are not easy targets. From the spiked SpecEvo to the diligent Waldwachters to the herds of Plectrumsaura, many Panzervenator groups and families have made their own tactics, in a sense, of how to hunt and deal with these dangerous prey animals. Even if skilled enough, however, these herbivores are a death trap to try and fight. One must never be cocky. Both sexes are amazing parents. Typically, the larger males will go out to find food and bring back to the nest, so his mate can feed. But sometimes, both parents will have to leave the nest to find food during harsher times, usually leaving the nest and eggs to the dangers that lurk just beyond it. However, some Panzervenator females will allow their sisters to stay with her and her mate, creating a coalition, thus meaning that even if both parents go out to find food, the auntie of the babies can stay behind to guard the nest and be rewarded with food when the pair comes back. Panzervenators aren't really social animals, and males specifically can be very territorial. When two males counter each other, they try to push over each other, but the fights are rarely deadly. Two males will attempt to do headbutts, and charge each other, but not to a deadly degree, 2 to 3 times before they both walk away their own separate ways, as neither one of them wanted to obtain unnecessary injuries. Females, on the other hand, are far less territorial, and in fact, many females in their subadult years and even sometimes adult years will be still seen living with their female siblings. That's how coalitions tend to form with Panzervenators. The dominant female will get a mate and she'll typically allow her sister to stay with them as long as food is not that hard to come by. Mother Panzervenators are highly defensive of their eggs and chicks. Usually in the first week of eggs being laid, the mother will not allow the father to get close to the nest, in fear of him being too reckless and breaking the eggs. However, after the first few weeks, the father will finally get to see his kids close in person, as the mother would have calmed down by then. Both the mother and father are doting parents, and even the aunties can be seen playing with their nephews and nieces when the father and mother are not at the nest. Young Panzervenators are a far cry from what their parents look like. Being skinnier and more like a typical Abelosaurid, they are frail and relatively weak for the first 3 weeks, but after that 3-week period, juvenile Panzervenators can fully utilize their long legs for insane speeds, though this speed is better suited for escaping predators than hunting prey, as not much is small enough for them to hunt, relying solely on their parents for food. Once they reach their adolescent years, however, they can use their speed for hunting for themselves, usually prefer to hunt young lone Volumosaurs and Ankylosaurs and the occasional Palusaurs if they can catch them off guard. Even then, with their size and speed advantage, this is where most Panzervenators meet their end, dying to a well-placed stab from a Volumosaur or a mob of Ankylosaurs. Subadult Panzervenators are more like their adult counterparts, being more heavy and lean built, and are far more independent than their younger siblings, and this is the age where most Panzervenators leave their parents' territory and become bachelors to find places of their own. During World War II, in Cryptadia's timeline, the British and German forces wanted to occupy the island as an FOB, but found the island was far too dangerous. The wildlife itself wasn't a major problem, but rather the stormy weather that Cryptadia was facing at the time was a huge problem to get there, and it was during this time that a German and British platoon met on the island. The battle was short but fierce as both sides lost men and equipment. The British would have won the battle, however, the German forces received a surprise help when a male Panzervenator came rolling down from uphill, charging into the British lines and catching the British forces off guard, even destroying, or, well, more likely disabling a Crusader tank, toppling it over even, and then terrifying the heck out of the British soldiers. As they start to shoot back, the Panzervenator quickly runs away from the wounds he received, and the Germans, taking advantage of this, were able to push the British forces back. However, both sides ended up leaving the island as it was too much of a bother and not much of a strategic advantage. During the Cenozoic, when Cryptadia reconnected to the mainland for a bit, a related species of Panzervenator arrived to mainland Africa and became larger while retaining the same red colors as the Panzervenator, surviving into the early 1930s before going extinct. The final member of the species going extinct in 1933 and was the sole survivor and the one behind the sightings of the cryptid known as the Kasai Rex. And with this comes an end to the long-awaited Panzervenator video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video because it was super fun for me to work on and super fun for me to draw all this amazing art. I have done so much art within the past few days, and oh my god, you guys haven't seen all of it yet, as in the next Monarch video. Oh lord, that's going to be a lot more, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I had so much fun working on it, and I hope you guys actually liked the little trivia part at the end of the, near the end of the video. Because, well, I was kind of using it as an excuse to play Panzerlied as an OST, but whatever. But yeah, also, yeah, that is how the Panzervenator got its name. After that incident, scientists rediscovered it, and because of that specific incident, they named it the Panzervenator, meaning tank hunter. Anyways, enough about that. This is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.